Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet the small rainbow square by Lisa from CuteCrochetMakes for her Unicorn Dreams blanket crochet along. Now if this is your first visit to my channel, it would be amazing if you just took a moment to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. As always, all the information for the Unicorn Dreams blanket squares is over on Lisa's website, CuteCrochetMakes, which I've linked to in the description box below. Over there, you will find all the yarn information, the hook sizes, colours, shades, and a downloadable free written PDF pattern for the small rainbow square. So I thoroughly encourage you to just take a moment to pop on over there, grab your free copy of the pattern, have a nose to see what else Lisa has on offer, and then come back and we can crochet this together. There are also timestamps in the description box below, so whilst you are ferreting down there for Lisa's website and all the links that I mention within this video, you'll notice some timestamps which are essentially numbers you can click which take you immediately to that time section of the video. So you can cut out lots of unnecessary things that you potentially don't need to sit, watch, or listen to. So let's go ahead and jump straight into making the small rainbow square. Now, if you are a pro, you're a seasoned crocheter, you've got these sort of solid granny squares in the bag, then what I need from you is a 4-round solid granny square, because at row 5 things get mixed up and we get this beautiful texture. So go ahead, crochet a 4-round solid granny square, use those timestamps in the description box below to leap straight to row 5 where we can all be at the same point to crochet onwards. Now don't panic if you don't know how to do a solid granny square. I'm about to talk you through the first 3 rounds of how to do just that. So if you are a new crocheter or you just would like a quick refresher on how to do a solid granny square, stay tuned, we are about to do that right now. So to begin your solid granny square, we're going to start with a magic ring. Now if you don't know how to do a magic ring, I do have a video on how to do just that. A little card will have popped up in the top corner here, or I've linked to it in the description box below. So into your magic ring, you are going to chain 5, which counts as your first double crochet, and chain 2. Get that little tail out of the way. Then into the magic ring, you're going to place 3 double crochet. Now again, if you don't know how to do that stitch, I have linked to it in the description box below. And if I go too fast at any point on this video, you can use the 3 little dots in the top right hand corner of your screen, which are the video settings, where you can change the speed to slow me right down. So that's 3 double crochet into the ring, chain 2, and place 3 more double crochet into that magic ring. Chain 2, 3 more double crochet into that magic ring, chain 2, and then to end, because your initial chain 5 counts as your first double crochet and chain 2, we only need 2 double crochet to finish. The last thing we need to do is join this round. So we're going to slip stitch to the 3rd chain of this chain 5. Sometimes it's easier to count backwards. So we've got 1, 2, which counts as the chain space. So then you know this next one here is the top for that 3rd chain. All right, now you are good to go ahead and tighten up your magic ring at the back. And then slip stitch into this chain 2 space ready to begin round 2. Okay, round 2, you're going to chain 5, which again counts as the first double crochet, and chain 2. So that chain 5 altogether. So the 3 chains are the double crochet. Then you're going to place 2 double crochet into this exact same space. Then you're going to place a double crochet into each of these 3 double crochets from the round below. You might want to pull these stitches around a little bit so you can clearly see the top of all 3 of those stitches. Then into your chain 2 space, we're going to form a corner, which is 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, all into that same chain 2 space. Then just like before, 1 double crochet into the top of these 3 double crochet from the round below. Now, don't forget to shunt these corner stitches around a little bit to free up the top of all 3 stitches. So you'll continue like this around, 1 double crochet into each of the double crochets from the round below, and in the corner chain 2 spaces, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, all into that same chain 2 space. Now this final double crochet on the side, you're going to be working into that chain that you slip stitch to. So just sort of aim for just underneath that slip stitch for that final stitch. And then to finish the round, we need 1 more double crochet into this original chain 2 space to finish up that corner. And you're going to slip stitch to the 3rd chain of your initial chain 5. Then slip stitch into the chain 2 space. Ready for round 3. Now round 3 starts the same way. You're going to chain 5, which counts as your first double crochet and chain 2 space. Then into the same chain 2 space, pop 2 double crochet. And just like before, you're going to place a double crochet into each of your stitches along the side. Now your sides will grow each round by 4 extra stitches. So where you had 3 before, you're now going to have 7. Then into the corners, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, all into the same chain 2 space. So continue round, 1 double crochet into each of these 7 stitches from the row below, and in the corners 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. You go ahead, do this side, and obviously the corners, and this side, and I'll meet you back here to finish the round. Don't forget the last side stitch is worked into this sort of chain that you slip stitch join to on the round below. So just sort of aim to go underneath the slip stitch, somewhere around there. You don't need to worry about being too precise. Just shove your hook in there. And to end the round, because this chain 5 counts as 1 double crochet and we need 2 for the corner, end with a double crochet in that initial chain 2 space and slip stitch to join to the 3rd chain of your initial chain 5. Then you can slip stitch into the chain 2 space, hopefully without splitting your yarn, ready to begin the next round. So this is the basic premise behind how a solid granny square is formed. Each time your sides will grow by 4 more stitches. So in the corners you always do 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and then you'll have 4 more stitches along the side for every extra round that you do. Now for the small rainbow square, you need just 1 more round of plain solid granny square. So you do 1 more round, round 4, just as we have done the last 3 rounds, and then meet me back here ready to begin round 5 together. Okay, for row 5, and a quick welcome back to anybody that leapt forward and skipped the first 4 rows. We're about to start row 5, and you will have slip stitched into the chain 2 corner space, ready to begin. So we're going to go ahead and chain 5, which counts as your first double crochet and a chain 2, and pop 2 double crochet into that same chain 2 corner space. So for the sides of round 5, we're going to be doing front and back post stitches. Now, if you don't know how to do front or back post stitches, or you'd like a quick refresher, I do have a video on how to do exactly that, which I've linked to in the description box below, or a little card will have popped up over here somewhere to take you directly to that video. So we're going to front post around the first stitch in the side of your solid granny square. And then we're going to do a back post around the next. So we're going to alternate front post, front, back, all the way along the side of your solid granny square. So when you reach your chain 2 corner space, you're going to place 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, all into that same chain 2 corner. Then you're going to repeat what you just did on this side, front post, back post, front post, back post, all the way along. So alternate front and back post stitches on the sides and in the corners, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. We're both going to whiz around now, so meet me back here in just a moment to finish off round 5. Alrighty then, to finish round 5, we're going to end with a double crochet straight into that original chain 2 space and slip stitch to the 3rd chain of your initial chain 5. Then go ahead and slip stitch into the chain 2 space, ready to begin round 6. Okay, round 6 is just a standard solid granny round, so chain 5 to start, which counts as your first double crochet and chain 2, and pop 2 double crochet stitches into that same chain 2 space. Now you're going to place a double crochet into every single one of your double crochets from the round below. It's sometimes easier, rather than looking at it this way, to just work into the V's of the top, because you'll see they go back and forth because of your post stitches. In the corners, you're going to place 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. So you whiz around, I'll whiz around, and I will meet you back here in just a moment. To finish row 6, we're going to end with a double crochet into your original starting point and slip stitch into the 3rd of your initial chain 5, so the 3rd chain. Then slip stitch into the chain 2 space, ready to begin round 7. So round 7 is a single crochet round. So chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, single crochet into that chain 2 space, chain 2, and pop 2 single crochets into that same chain 2 space. Now pull your stitches around a little bit because they will want to cover the first double crochet after your corners. So place a single crochet into every single one of your double crochet stitches from the round below, and in the corners you're going to place 2 single crochet, chain 2, 2 single crochet. So just as before, we're going to whiz around and meet back at this point. So single crochet in every stitch all the way along, and in the corners 2 single crochet, chain 2, 2 single crochet. And don't forget to shunt your corner stitches around so they don't cover up that very first stitch of the row below. To finish the round, you're going to end with 1 single crochet into that original chain 2 space, and then slip stitch to the top of the single crochet. So ignore the chain 1 and slip stitch to the top of the single crochet. So you can now cut your yarn, leave a decent generous tail length for weaving in later. Pull your yarn through, give a little tug because these front and back post stitches will kind of want to snug down. So you can give them a little tug so they're all properly in line with where they're supposed to be, or you can of course block your squares afterwards. But I've found the minute you sew on the appliques, that sort of almost self-blocks the square. So don't worry too much at this point if you haven't got a perfectly square square. All that can be fixed afterwards. So let's move on to the rainbow. Now for your rainbow, you need to use a 3mm crochet hook, or a hook size smaller than what you've done the main body of the square with. However, it makes it very difficult to see on camera what I am doing. So for this demonstration rainbow, this one was made with a 3mm hook. I'm going to use a 4mm crochet hook just so you can see what it is that I am doing. So with your first color, which will be purple, I'm going to pop a slip knot on your hook and chain 10. So we're going to be working into the second chain from your hook. The loop on your hook doesn't count as anything, so ignore this first one, and we're working into the second. So you're going to put an increase straight away into this second chain from your hook. Now an increase is 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So pop 2 single crochet straight into that second chain from hook. Then in the next chain, place 1 single crochet. So you're going to repeat this all the way down the chain. Increase, so 2 single crochet in the next chain, 1 single crochet in the next. 2, 1, 2, 1, all the way to the end of the chain. So you're going to be ending with 2 single crochet in that very last chain, and you will have a sort of curly old mess, but that is exactly what we want. Now you can see here my very large holes. That's because I'm using a hook size that's too big for this rainbow, but as I said, you'll be using a 3mm crochet hook, so yours will look much neater than mine. So we're done with the purple now, so you can chain 1, snip it yarn end for weaving in afterwards, pull that through, pull it tight, and then turn your entire work around. Now grab your next colour, and you're going to put your hook underneath that very last stitch of the last round, the first one of this, whichever way you prefer to look at it. Pop a slip knot on your hook and bring that loop of yarn to the front. Chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and put a single crochet in that very same place. Now you're going to put a single crochet into every stitch all the way along. So at the end of this row, you will have 14 single crochet stitches. So that 14th stitch will be sort of tucked down here. So don't forget to pick that one up too. So you're now done with that colour. So just as before, chain 1, snip your yarn, pull your hook out, pull it tight and turn it around. Now join the next colour to that first single crochet, just as you did on the last round. Now you're going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and you're going to place 2 single crochet into this very first stitch. So increase into the first stitch. Pop a single crochet in the next. And you're going to repeat this all the way along. So just like we did for this purple row, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet all the way along. So 2 single crochet in one and 1 single crochet in the next. At the end of this round, you'll have 21 stitches. Just double check that you have 21 before we go any further. So if you're anything like me, you weren't counting as you went. 21. Okay, I'm good. You're done with the blue, chain 1, snip your yarn, pull it through, pull it tight, turn your work and add your next colour to that very first stitch. Chain 1, pop a single crochet in that very first stitch and single crochet in the remaining 20 stitches all the way along. When you reach the end of the row, chain 1, cut your yarn, pull it through, pull it tight, turn your work and join your next colour. Chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and increase into that very same stitch. So 2 single crochet. Then place a single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So you're going to repeat this all the way across. Increase, single crochet, single crochet, increase, single, single, all the way along. And at the end of this row, you'll have 28 stitches. Just as before, chain 1, snip your yarn, pull it through, pull it tight and turn your work and add your next colour. Chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and place a single crochet in every single one of your 28 stitches from the row below. At the end of the row, just as before, cut yourself a length of yarn, chain 1, pull it up, pull it out, pull it tight, turn your work. Are you noticing a pattern here? And add your last colour of the rainbow. So chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and you're going to start with 2 single crochets in that very first stitch. Now you're going to place a single crochet in every stitch along, and in the very last stitch you're going to place 2 single crochets. So at the end of this row you will have 30 stitches in total. So only increase in the first and the last stitch. So before you cut your yarn, you're going to chain 1. You need a length of this final colour which is enough to sew around the entirety of your rainbow. So leave yourself a really nice long tail to enable you to do that. Then snip your yarn, pull that through, and you'll need to weave in your gazillion yarn ends that you have going on. Weave those in and pin this to your square ready to sew on. Grab your white and we can make the little tiny clouds. Okay, so the clouds, we've got 2 different sizes of clouds here. Again, you will need to be using your 3mm crochet hook, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to be using my 4. I'm going to show you how to make the 2 different sizes. So first off, we need to make the large cloud, and you'll need to make 2 of these. So with your white yarn, going to make a magic ring, and into that magic ring you're going to place 6 single crochet. Then close your ring slightly, but not all the way closed, and you're going to slip stitch to that first single crochet of the round. I appreciate it is very hard for you guys to see what I'm doing using white. So you can pull that magic ring properly closed at the back now. So you're going to chain 1, and we're going to place 2 half double crochets into each stitch all the way around. So at the end of this row or round, you will have 12 half double crochet stitches. Once you have your 12 half double crochets, you're going to join with a slip stitch to the top of your first half double crochet, so ignore the chain 1. Then chain 1 and cut enough yarn to sew around the cloud. Pull it tight and make 2 of these in total. Now for the small cloud, you're going to need 4. So with your white again, working into a magic ring, 6 single crochet. Pull that center ring not all the way closed, slip stitch to the very first single crochet of the round, and then tighten up that magic ring at the back. Now chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and for these small clouds you're going to place 2 single crochets into each stitch around, so increase around, so you will have 12 single crochets in total. Once you've got your 12 single crochets, slip stitch to the first single crochet of that round, chain 1, and again leave yourself enough yarn to sew around the cloud. So you're going to need 4 of these little clouds. So once you have 2 of the big ones and 4 of the little ones, you want to layer them like this. 4 little clouds at the back and your 2 large clouds on top Can you see like that? So they're sort of layered, all covering the bottom of your rainbow. So as I mentioned, all the information for this square, including the written pattern, is over on Lisa's website, CuteCrochetMakes, which I've linked to in the description box below. If you have any questions, please feel free to shout down in the comments section below. I always do my best to try and get to everybody. And it would be amazing if you maybe shared this video with somebody that you think would also like making this little tiny, adorable and beautifully textured rainbow square. So until next time, happy crocheting! Bye!